Hello, today we're going to discuss about indexed array. So index array is one of the types of array that is indexed or referenced by numbers. This is the simplest form of PHP array. In order to create our array, we would need the array function. So in order to do that, let's start our PHP script and then let us name our array. For this, I'm going to name this as index array. As I've said earlier, array function is needed in order for us to create an array. So the array function can be used like this, and we're just going to specify the elements of our array. For this one, I'm going to make use of strings, so I'm going to make use of quotation marks, and then I'm going to have here the first element, which is apple. The second element is banana. The third element would be chocolate. So in this array, we will have three elements. Now, in an index array, the first element is always indexed at 0, meaning the first element is always starts at 0. For the next element, we have index of 1, and the next one is index of 2. Okay, so that is how we numbered our elements in our index array. So in order for us to access or display a specific element in our index array, all we need to do is simply just specify the name of our array, and then inside the opening close brackets, we specify the index. For this one, if I specify 0, it means that I'm going to access the first element, which is apple. So in order for us to see the result, I'm going to save this in my folder at htdocs, and then I'm going to save this as array sample 1. And then let's go to our browser. You will see that we have here the local host. So type your folder and then the name for our file, which is array sample 1.php. Save, and then you will see that the first element is displayed here in our browser. So that is how you display the element of an index array. Now, you have to be careful here because when you exceed the index that are allowed in your array, for example, here I only have 3 elements, so the last element is indexed at 2. So it will have this output chocolate. But if somehow you had a mistake that you thought that the last element is 3, then that is the time you will have an error. The error is undefined array key 3. Okay, so you have to be careful with accessing the index of your index array. The next one is, how can you be able to display all of the elements of the array? For index array, we can use the for loop. For loop is a advanced version of the while loop. Here, we can have our initialization, and then followed by the condition, and then followed by our step or our incrementation. Okay, so in order to do that, we will have here an array I, or rather a variable I initialized to 0. Why? Because our index starts with 0. And then for our condition, we're going to have I is less than 3. Why 3? Because we have a total number of 3 elements. Okay? In order for us to avoid this, or to avoid certain confusion, we could just simply type count, opening close parenthesis, and then the name of your array. Okay, this function count will just simply return the total number your array has. Okay, and next we have here I++ in order to access our elements one by one. Then open and close braces, and then let us echo out our index array. So index array of I. I used here I because this one, for every loop, this will be different. It will start at 0, index 0, up to the total number of your elements minus 1. So it will just simply display the elements of your array one by one. So let's save this and let's refresh our browser. It will now display the total number of elements or the elements of our array. For a more presentable way of having our output, we can enclose this with quotation marks and then type BR at the end so that it will go, or it will be more presentable, and each of the elements will be displayed on each line. So that is how you access, create, and you display the elements of your index array.